What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the data points, what is really causing all of this distress, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So NIO's down 2.68%, largely just piggybacking off of the broader market's negativity. 488 the low, 506 the high, and 20 million shares being traded. There really hasn't been that much in macro data, nothing coming out from China nor the States. So all of this sell-off is, in my opinion, fairly artificial, being done through algorithmic trading. Quickly popping over here, you can kind of see that the flow right over here is very much under the small category. So a lot of these smaller transactions is kind of just algorithmic trading back and forth. So in general, today largely could be seen as unjustified, and kind of artificial, but at the same time, I do believe, no different than what I mentioned over the weekend, this week is going to be rough on the broader market, largely because of what is coming out on Thursday. So Bank of Japan interest rate decision was very odd, and I don't know if this is actually being done on purpose, but I don't see anyone talking about this. I bring this up on obviously a lot of my different YouTube channels, but I don't see anyone else talking about this, even though this same type of fear caused a massive sell-off in 2024 when Bank of Japan was going to potentially raise their rates. Luckily enough, it didn't come to fruition, but this time around, the consensus is that they are. And I know some of you always ask, how does this really affect NIO? How does this affect anything? In general, NIO is just getting moved through algorithmic trading. The algos are really feeding off of the negativity and the liquidity pinch that is happening. So by Bank of Japan raising the interest rates, that's going to cause significant pain on the American bond market. That's going to cause people to rotate out of that into Japanese bonds. And then, of course, through that, that's going to affect equities. This is why we've seen, not just with NIO, but almost every stock out there having lower and lower volume every single week. So again, nobody for the life of me is talking about this. A lot of people are just scratching their head like, what's happening today? It's this. This has been kind of the writing on the wall. This is why over the weekend I said this is going to cause significant pain. So in general, this is why we are seeing more of a liquidity pinch. Today, there really hasn't been that much in news from NIO, no SEC filings. Only thing really came out was this right here. So looks like more of a second round of auto consumption subsidies. And yeah, I think that's good, but clearly there's a lot of fear about, I guess, demand going down, consumers really struggling, even though technically NIO's numbers are fairly good from what we can see so far. Clearly, there's enough fear to really kind of justify a lot of these subsidies. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from this one thing, there honestly hasn't really been anything to come out to really incentivize anyone to buy NIO. There was some optimism that NIO was going to kind of recover from a technical standpoint, but I think the last couple of trading days that has been quashed. So I'll go over that near the end of the video. Shorts right now are increasing 494,000 shares. 7.65% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 155.9 million shares overall are being shorted. So not the greatest. DTC being at 2.69 days does signal that obviously shorts are overextended, and you still see significant amount of naked shorting. That is, again, if this is correct. So shares on loan being 68.83 million, number of shares being shorted 155. Normally, if this type of scenario does play out, and if there's FTDs, then market makers have roughly around 3 days to actually rectify the deficiency. If not, the SEC is supposed to go after them, but this has been more of a common thing. So you can even see from this, so my apologies on kind of the coloring, this is all set by Ortex, but clearly, since it looks like September the 24th, there has been an instance of naked shorting consistently since then. So definitely some interesting stuff is happening behind the scenes. Aside from that, looking at the options, 1.5 million in calls, 1.3 in puts, and then 63% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. So there's a certain level of, I guess, negativity that there's going to be more of a push lower, so maybe more pain coming before things do get better. From a bull standpoint, you see consensus for it to be kind of between that 5 to 550. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 5. And that seems to be, for the most part, where they feel it is going to land, between that $4.50 and $5 range. Right now, only one transaction occurring on the secondary market. It is one institution buying for 173,000. So I guess that is a 100% improvement from yesterday, because we had none yesterday. So still, big money's not buying the NIO dip. Aside from that, these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. Since shorts are fairly active, it is fair to assume that most of this is going to be linked to them. Right now, with that 490, it is trading between this S1 and this S2. I'm looking at the 1 minute chart, so these are very tight support and resistance points. So pay attention to this if you are a day trader, swing trader, or whatever else. 484, 470 as strong support points, 492, 506 as the next strong target / resistance points. So like I said, nothing too crazy in my opinion, but as of right now, at the time of doing this video, NIO did really bounce off of that 200-day moving average, so it is more in consolidation mode. So key level to watch for is going to be that 473. If it does break below that, then most likely it's going to continue its trajectory a little bit lower. But at least right now, it needs to really fight back and get above that 10 and also ideally 200-day moving average. But I think the problem with NIO is that it's just piggybacking off the broader market, and there's a lot of negativity in the market. So as much as I like NIO, I think regrettably, I know people don't like when I say this, I think there's going to be more consolidation, possibly more downside before things do get better. But for those of you that believe in NIO, bigger picture, then buy. I know it's always funny how people, and I kind of chuckle sometimes, back when this was at $8, give or take, I myself, I know I'm not the biggest YouTuber that covers NIO, but I had a lot of people saying, hey, I wish this can go back down to like $4, $5. I'm going to buy the hell. I'm going to sell my house and buy it. So many people were saying that. But it's kind of funny, in a span of, was it like a month and a half from when we were at the $7 range, people probably like, no, I ain't touching that crap right now. It's so funny. But in general, if you believe in it, just dollar cost average, I think that's kind of the best way to go. So let me know your viewpoint on NIO. One final thing, pop over to my Discord if you are looking for some good people to chat with about stocks, options, crypto. Discord is completely free. I'll put that in the description below and also the comments. With all that said though, appreciate all of you watching.